Do you own a drone but don't really know how to get those cinematic shots that you see on YouTube? I'm going to show you how to get started now. What's up guys? TJ here with another video. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever I release new videos. So if you follow my channel, you know that I do have a DJI Spark, and whenever I shoot video, I always try to think about the shots that I'm going to take in terms of the video that I'm going to make from the shots that I take. And a lot of my shots are very cinematic, and I've learned a lot about how to maneuver your drone while you're trying to get these cinematic shots. So I'm going to go through some of the settings that I put my camera on, or my drone on, and also we'll dive into Premiere Pro, and I'll show you exactly how I edit that footage, the LUTs that I use, and I'm also going to show you some techniques that you can use whenever you're out there flying your drone to get those cinematic shots. Alright, so the first thing to remember when you're trying to get those cinematic shots is before you go out and you start flying, you need to have a flight plan. That's what I call it, a flight plan. So I know that I have 3 available batteries, and I have an idea of what I'm going to shoot. So I think about my location, and I think about how, I'm going to get, getting in the mind space of a videographer, thinking about what the shot is going to look like, what shots I need to get, and then if there's opportunities to get other shots while I'm out there shooting, then I get those as extra. But you need to make sure that you have a baseline of whatever shots you want to get before you get started, because if you get out there, you start fumbling around with your drone, you get up there and you start flying, you're going to miss your opportunity sometimes. So I've done this many times. I start flying around and I don't really know what I'm looking for, then by the time you look up, your battery's dead. So just really have an idea of what you want to video before you get started. A good way to do this is I go through and I look at a lot of drone footage, and whenever I look at drone footage, I look at different ways that people fly their drones to get cinematic shots. I mean, we're talking about pulling the drone back, maybe going to the side, moving your camera gimbal up and down slowly at a certain point, having your camera pointing straight down, looking at the ground while you're moving, moving at a very accelerated speed, because when you're moving your drone fast and you are recording, sometimes you can see the propellers, and that's not very cinematic if you can see the propellers. So there's just a few different techniques that I use whenever I'm editing and shooting my video. One of the best tips that I can give you for cinematic footage is think about the music that you're going to put towards with your music, because that's going to dictate what you're going to do with your shots, if that makes any sense. I do a lot of reveal shots. So a reveal shot, that's what I call it. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but a reveal shot is, say for instance you have 2 bushes here, or if you have a tree or some tree branches here, you start your drone, you pull your drone in front of it with the camera facing away from whatever you want to reveal, and you're going to back your drone up and you're going to actually reveal what's behind it. That works really well for just kind of revealing trees or bushes or flowers, or if you're on like a cliff, or if you have a waterfall or something behind you, that just kind of a slow reveal going backwards is more dynamic than a reveal going forward. Also, whenever you are flying your drone, and you really need to think about maneuvering your drone to get the shots that you need. If you have a shot that you're trying to set up, you cannot do any kind of like jerky motions, because it's not going to look cinematic. That's really going to look like you're just flying your drone around and recording. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you're trying to get cinematic footage, then you really have to think about how this is going to look and how it's going to interact with the music. Now sometimes you will need a faster shot, and those fast motions will be okay. So I'm going to put some examples as I'm talking about this of what I'm talking about, and when we dive into Premiere Pro, we'll dive a little bit more into exactly what I'm talking about. So another thing that I want to talk about real quick before we get into the computer is, whenever you're editing your footage, you need to make sure that you are utilizing LUTs. Now there are a lot of LUTs that you can use. The one that I actually use is I put it in the description section below. It's another YouTuber that does DJI Spark videos, and he made these real cinematic videos, and I could never achieve, even if I had footage that was similar to his, I could never achieve the look that he had. And he almost had like a grainy, filmy, you know, the blacks are kind of grayed out, very cinematic looking footage. And he came out with a video about the LUTs that he used. And what I'll do is I'll put a link to that in the card up here, and I also put a link to it in the description section if you want to use those LUTs. I believe I paid, you know, $5 or something for the LUTs. But what the LUTs do is it actually allows you just to click on a button, and in Premiere Pro, and it will automatically color grade your footage to be more cinematic. Now, of course, if your footage is then it's not, you know, it's not really going to look great even with a LUT on it, or even with slowing it down or anything like that. But if you do have decent footage and you put a LUT on it, it can take your video, you know, to the next level. So with all that being said, let's get into Premiere Pro and we'll see what we got.
Alright, so we're going to jump into some footage here, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I do to edit this footage. So these are just raw files, not in any particular order. And I just want to show you how your footage could look and what to how to work with it. Let's see. Alright, so this was some footage I had at the park, and it wasn't, you know, really too cinematic. And what I did was I added, you know, we had some really good colors. It was fall, so these colors could really pop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that there. We're going to have a couple, I'll show you a couple of clips. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to use these LUTs. So once you get the LUTs, like I said, I'm going to put a link to it in the description section, and he'll actually show you how to install the LUTs. But once you get the LUTs installed, what you'll do is you will go over here to Lumetri Color. Now you can do the color grading yourself. I mean, you can move your colors up and down and kind of mess around with it to get a look. You know, if you want to be more washed out, if you want the colors to pop more, you can, you know, mess around with this. But let me show you the easy way, which is LUTs. So right here, it's going to say input LUT, and it's going to say none. So what I'll do is I'll browse, and I will open up where I have my LUTs. Right there, LUTs. DJI Cinematic LUTs. Alright, so these are all the LUTs that I have currently installed. You can install as many as you want to, and I've actually seen a lot of people that offer these LUTs, and I could, you know, download multiple. But these right here work fine for me. So to get a more cinematic feel, Cine is a really good one to use. So let's open that up and see what that looked like. So you see how it changed the colors of that. Let's see, let's change to a couple ones. This is booster. This is going to boost up your colors quite a bit. So it's going to make it like lighter and brighter, more of like a summertime kind of feel. I like punch. Punch just punches the colors. You can see the greens and the yellows and the oranges. Really good. Neutral is going to flatten everything out. It's going to kind of wash everything out. High def is going to really define things like shadows. You can see the shadows and things like that, and the trees are a lot more prevalent. And this is the one that I normally use, which is Faded Summer. I really like Faded Summer. Faded Summer gives it kind of a fadey look, but it's still bright. And you could do Faded Black and White. This is going to be just black and white. You know, if you're trying to tell a story, and black and white is going to work for you. This is Contrast Black and White. It's going to give you like darker blacks. So let's go back. This is our original footage. Let's look at this clip right here. This was a clip. I like showing the takeoff clips. Those are just kind of cool clips. So this one right here is not too interesting, just with the normal thing. But what I liked about this clip was the sun in the background with me walking in front of it, and like my yellow shoestrings. I don't know why, but that's just what I liked. So like if I wanted to put like Faded Summer on here, that's going to give it more. You see how it kind of changes like a green color. I'm going to show you. This is off. This is on. Off. On. You see how that looks like a lot different. If I wanted a more cinematic thing, I could do that, which you see how it kind of grayed that out a little bit. Gives it like a grainy gray tone. Another one I use is booster. I like booster. So you see how booster really like put definition in like every little thing. You can even see the definition around like my legs from the light a lot more. It really darkens up your shadows here. Let's see, if you're doing something that's already fairly, like this right here is it was a bright day, so it's going to be hard to kind of make this like grainy. So really a shot like that will be used more for because that's a cool shot right there, and it enhanced the clouds to kind of grade out some of this stuff, so the focal point is really like the sun and the sun shining on the water. It brightened up the water quite a bit, and it gave it like a different tone. It brightened up the sun, but not too bright where it looks weird. But you can use booster here. Booster is going to kind of wash the sky out a little bit, but you're going to see a little bit more of the landscape. So you see the definition kind of down here in the road. See, Cine, going to give it a very, Cine doesn't really work for this scene because it kind of makes it a little dark. You see right there, that's what I was talking about, moving your camera up and down real fast. You don't want to do that. But this could work in, with your footage. Just like I said, it just depends on your footage. This right here is a bright scene, but this scene right here could be made cinematic. So see, if you want to do a cinematic thing, that makes it more cinematic. You can see how it really darkens in the trees and the water. But for something like this, I always use like faded summer. That's my go-to, is the faded summer. It really brightens up the shot, but it does give it more of a film quality. That was just me doing like a circle. But you see all the colors down here popping. See, let's change it to high def. High def is just going to darken up some of the low points. See, booster really doesn't work with that one because it kind of washes everything out. But like I said, you really just have to play around with your footage and with these LUTs and see what actually works for your footage. Another thing I want to talk about really quickly is the music. So when I'm editing to music, normally what I will do is I'll do like a jump cut on a beat. So if I have I don't even know what song this is, but I'm gonna put it over here and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. So say for instance we have this song. Let me turn it down. I'm trying to record the screen and do this at the same time, so Premiere Pro don't like it. Alright. So let's go back to the beginning. Actually, I'm gonna actually take these two clips off. Move everything down. Alright, so I know this song is like a dun 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 dun. So it's got like certain cadence that it does. So watch this. So I know when the next beat is going to come in, and really to see the beats and stuff, you kind of have to move it down. And sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. So like I'll cut it right there, and I'll make a long cut like that. And what that's doing is it's giving it a little bit of distance in your shot, so you can actually tell that it may be the same exact shot, but you can tell that it's moved. So watch this. So this will be another cut. We'll go down and see something. Let's see. All right, so we're over the grass there. We'll cut that. You can do this also with ripple. All right, so let's see. And you know the next beat is going to come in right there. So you could go in and cut that. And pull that back. Alright, and start singing there. So if you want to, you could cut it to right there. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like editing to the beat and thinking about your shots before you start. Because whenever I did use this song in one of my videos, I was showing like a progression. So it started, you know, getting out of the car, going, setting up, and then putting the drone down, letting the drone start flying, and I was able to kind of build an environment around my shots. So that's really it for today, guys. I hope you got a little bit of value out of this. I do enjoy making these cinematic videos because it kind of hones in my skills or whatever. But if you do have any questions about anything I talk about, just put it in the comment section below. And if you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And see you guys later.